What is good? Welcome to Dub Nation, the official show of the Utah Warriors of Major League Rugby. I'm Jarom Jordan alongside Banksy. Great to have you with us. We're live on the Utah Warriors Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube accounts. Subscribe to the podcast version on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, that's a new one, I guess, and SoundCloud. Sending questions and comments if you got them. Here's what's on the show. Loaded! LA and Austin are out in 2023. What this means for Major League Rugby, plus expansion, plus dispersal draft. A lot going on there. Logan Tago returns. We will talk to him. Zion Going returns. Connor McLeod is signed. We got Falcons in South Africa. Robbie Abel retires. Not from coaching, luckily, just from playing. Still with the Warriors. Emerson Prior doing work off the bench with Canada. And a World Cup date. So somehow we're going to finish this in 30 minutes. So Banksy, let's get after it. Austin and LA, the league announces yesterday they're out for 2023. Obviously, issues with salary cap violations and other things. Last year, they were out of the playoffs. Adam Gilchrist is trying to sell the teams. They're not sold yet. Still going to have a 12-team league. Still going to have an expansion team that's going to be in the West. Player dispersal drafting in the coming weeks. Massive news going into the next season.
You know, it's a shame that one man's arrogance and really... I don't want to say incompetence in managing those teams, but that's really what it feels like has cost the league so dearly with two of these marquee teams being out of the competition. But most importantly, for the players and all of the families that this affects, now you're talking about guys having to get up and possibly move to new cities to play for the year with that dispersal draft to keep those players under contract and in the MLR until the ownership situation can be sorted out. It's a sad situation, but this is what accountability looks like for terrible ownership.
Yeah, and it's tough because those were two of the more interesting teams in the league. Obviously, a lot of Australians coming over with Gilchrist being an Australian. So we'll see if there are Warriors who are from these squads. We'll see how many of these guys will stay in MLR. But it could be interesting to see who gets dispersed where. Luckily, the league will be at a nice round number of 12 because there will be another team, and it will be in the West. There will be 6 teams in the West and 6 in the East. So, you know, among those rumored or interested, St. Louis, Chicago feel like the two most obvious potential spots for that one in the West. So we'll see what happens.
You know, both of those cities have had their names come up several times in conversations, both with really great core club cultures there in place, much like Utah does here in the Rocky Mountain West. You know, St. Louis and Chicago both really kind of steeped in that deep Midwest tradition of quality clubs that they could draw from to be able to build an MLR franchise.
St. Louis would basically be the Lindenwood pro team if that happens, because they become a power there in St. Charles.
No, shut your mouth. Lindenwood is the feeder team for the Utah Warriors.
That's right.
We've established a thing. That's here. Right. Don't sell that off to another franchise.
There are like 5 dudes on the team from Lindenwood, which is pretty cool. So huge news. You know, like, newspapers in England continue to question whether MLR is going to be sustainable. They survived COVID. It looks like they're going to survive this, and grow by another club. You know, you hope that you keep going, but it's not great news per se that 2 teams aren't going to compete. That's tough. You know, a couple years ago, the Glendale Raptors are out. You know, so it's been interesting. First, obviously, going into your 6 here, but how do you feel about the state of the league with this news?
I think the core of the league is actually really solid and the model is good. Franchises in their markets are growing. Audiences are growing. Home field attendance for just about every team in the league is growing. This is not a problem with the league. And if we want to throw it back in the UK papers' faces, they just lost the Wasps to receivership and had to liquidate the team out of that entire league with a 7-figure hole that they dug themselves into. Let's not talk about financial mismanagement. This is accountability for one man who had a conflict of interest in owning 2 clubs that has caused this error. This is a correction, not a corruption of the MLR system. And I think the league is going to be fine.
And it looked like had they been able to find ownership for these 2 teams in time, they could have played in 2023. It didn't happen. That's what seems to have played out here. And so the league at some point had to call it. And guess what? We are less than 4 months away from the season, about 3.5 weeks or 3.5 months. You had to establish a schedule and travel and all these things, right? It wasn't done in time. So hopefully Austin and LA find ownership and compete in 2024 and we have a 14-team league. That's the
I mean, they absolutely will. There's too many players, and now obviously franchises in those marquee cities, with LA being a huge market to have a rugby team in. The league wants to keep it. The fans want to keep it. And then the heritage that is there in Austin with the feeder system that they already have in place. They've got a great system, great stadium out there at Coda. There's a lot of different things there to build off of. These franchises are going to be okay once they get the ownership system sorted out. The league had to let Gilchrist do it on his own and fail, like he did with everything else, and then stepped in to make the decision to take basically ownership of the process now and find new ownership for these franchises on their own. So that's going to play its course. There's interested ownership. They're still actively pursuing it. I think this was finally a good decision by the league. They had to be patient, though, and let things take their proper course before they stepped in.
Okay, so Austin and LA are out for 2023, and Banksy clearly a Vasa guy. All right, next piece of news.
Not even. I'm a rec center guy.
There you go. Support your local rec center with your taxes. Okay, Logan Tago is signed. He's back. He played in 2021 for the Warriors, and that's a happy Brandon Sparks right there. And Logan Tago, the 6'3", 235-pound center, is back. He has a crazy story. He was found, I believe, in a touch rugby tournament. And then suddenly, the former Washington State lineman and linebacker, second team all Pac-12 one season. He had a cup of coffee with the Seahawks and the CFL as well. Utah selects, and then, hey, he's on the 21 roster as one of the centers. And then USA Rugby picks him up. Hurts his shoulder a bit, but he is back with the Warriors, returning to 15s, and he joins a loaded center group.
He's had a great run with the USA Sevens and, got a little hardware there for his time. Played through the Premiership Sevens, but you're talking about a very big, very physical outside back. This is a guy that's going to do really well at that 13, 14 position, can cover both wings as well as the center positions. And look at that, just brutal, don't argue. Lance Williams there, that's warrior on warrior crime there. Lance says, I know what this is, and I'm not going to catch him. So it's great to have a local guy like this back in the roster where, they have been traditionally so deep at that back three position. Yep. And now you look at, Mika Cruze, Joey Mano, Logan Tago, who can play on the outside. We've got Connor Burns in there. It doesn't matter who starts on any given weekend. We've got electricity at that 12, 13, 14, and 15 position for this Warriors Nation squad.
Why we got to do Lance like that? I mean, that was...
I didn't do Lance like that. Logan did.
We did him dirty. Jeez. Okay, let's talk about some of the returning signees so far that he fits in with. Lance Williams, the aforementioned, Sayo Hila, Yuri Van Buren, Mika Cruze, now Logan Tago back from 2021. And then we look at the centers. You mentioned he can play wing. If he's in the center, look at this group, dude. Paul Asike, the headliner, of course. Tyler Fisher has been here for a few years. Calvin Whiting, of course, stalwart, steady dudes. Tomasi Tonga, young up-and-comer out of Harriman. And now Logan Tago. How about that? Is that the best group of centers in the league? Look how deep that is.
And the capacity for physicality in that group as well. I mean, we know what Paul Asike brings to the table. We know how steady Calvin has been at that 12 spot, how great Tyler has been playing so much time at that 13 spot. Now you add the electricity and the playmaking ability that Logan Tago brings with his ability in the open field. And then we saw at the end of the season through the last 5 games how great Tomasi Tonga was as a young center to be able to learn behind somebody like Paul Asike, who they have very similar playing styles. This is going to be a great centers group.
Paul Asike looks like 52 years old in this photo. Like that goatee makes him look so old. He is not that old, I promise.
Paul Asike, rocking the salt and pepper goatee, has been playing rugby longer than some guys in the league have been alive.
It's true. Paulie, the Kiwi, we love him. We love him. Excited to see him healthy back in 2023. All right, speaking of Logan Tago, let's bring him in, the newest Utah Warrior, who's returning after a spell with Sevens. He's thrown over Lance Williams and other guys, and now he's going to be teammates with Lance once again. Logan, welcome to Dub Nation. Great to have you back, man.
I'm very excited, man. I'm happy, man. Finally got to sign and everything, man. I'm happy to be back. And then the best thing about this is, like, be able to play in front of my family, especially my son, that's like the most exciting part of coming back.
You spent a lot of time away from your boy Champ. We saw him in the picture there on the signing with Sparks. How big a motivation was it to be able to play, not just for him, because obviously you've been doing that with the run with the selects and the USA Sevens, but now to be able to be here on the regular, full-time as a dad and now as a professional rugby player?
It hit me when I was in San Diego, my first getting ready to go to Dubai. And then just to after practice down there in San Diego, just to go home and then he's not there, that's when it hit me hard. I'm like, damn. Then when I'm in Utah, to come home to Champ, it's like the best thing ever. And then being able to travel around the world with the USA Sevens and then the time differences, it was sucks, you know what I mean? It was sucks. It hit me on the road too when I was down in Spain. And then I had a talk with Mike Friday about it. And then I was off a little bit because of that, because I was away for too long, and then every time I'm in the U.S., I'm not even in Utah. I'm in San Diego most of the time. So, but for me to come back to Utah and to play in front of him, it's more than what I asked for right now. So, yeah. So
family matters.
Happy.
Yep. And the community and the extended family that's around here, it's special to have you back on the team.
Yeah, that's what made it special too, because my family, my parents, my mom, my dad, and then Utah, that's where everything started. I mean, that's where I started my rugby career. That nobody knows me if it wasn't for Utah. And then, yeah.
So how stacked is the Utah Warriors under 6-year-old team? With Champ now, with Robbie's kids always running around practice, with Joey's little one. There's a whole squad of youngins hanging around. We could feel like a Warriors under 5 team, right?
I know, man. Whoever MLR manager out there, you want a future star, man, you gotta sign him.
Gotta sign him young. Get him in the academy, boys.
Marks is
Get
getting
him in the academy
right now.
You gotta sign him already, man. This boy is crazy. The thing about Champ that I love the most, he doesn't like watching TV or cartoons. He likes to play. He likes to play. Like, he wake up, ball. You give him any kind of ball, he'll play. He wants to go outside. So that's why I love about him. Like,
my kid's first word was iPad. Just kidding. Yeah. So much screen time. Come on, man. Okay, we're talking to Logan Tago, newest Utah Warriors, back with the Warriors after 2021. Remind us the story of how the Warriors found you.
It was a touch tournament at the field outside, right outside of the indoor. So when I got stuck in COVID, Joe was the one that hit me up, Joe Mano. So I know Joe from like back home in high school. We go way back. So I just went there just to go there, because I wanted to do something. I'm an active person. I was supposed to go to Canada, the CFL, but I got stuck here. The whole CFL got canceled. So Joe and my older brother, he played with Joe before he left Utah. So when I came here, so Joe hit me up. He was like, just come out, let's run. And then we went there. We were just playing touch. Lance was there. I knew Lance from my older brother. And then the first Utah rugby scrimmage, the club scrimmage, since COVID, it was like a whole year. And then we had a scrimmage, and then me and Joe was on the same team, the Gladiators. And then I had no idea Brandon and Sean Davis was out there watching. And then after the scrimmage, Brandon and Sean Davis walk up. He walked up to me and Joe was like, "Oh yeah, give us the card, call us." And I was like, "What is this? Like, who is this guy?" I don't even know. I didn't know Utah had a whole professional rugby team. I thought the only professional team out here was the Utah Jazz. So me and Brandon connected that time. We talked, and he was like, "Just come in, just try out for the select team." So I went in there, and then from there, the rest is, yeah.
So how are you feeling now physically after all of the travel, after some injuries that have kind of been hanging around? I know you've had some recovery time and you've worked with, the the national team trainers, as well as our staff here in Utah. How you feeling getting ready to come back and put the boots on here in Utah, brother?
I feel good, honestly. I feel really good. It's just my first year playing 15, I was like, I didn't get the chance to play at all, which is because I didn't have the experience. But after the sevens and then learning from a lot of players, like great players and a great coach like Mike, all the skills and everything, I'm really excited to show people that I can play 15 too. Because I don't think I show people that much that I don't think I have film of me playing 15. So for that excitement, to prove, because for me, it's always you got to take a step to get better every day and every year. So that's the next step for me. It's you got to prove something. So I'm really excited to prove something in MLR that I can play 15, that I can be in the MLR.
Well, I'm sure Greg Cooper is excited to have you as we are as well for next season. And listen, we'd spend a lot longer with you. This is a loaded program. We got to catch up with you another time because we got news. But Logan, we appreciate. Oh,
one more question. Uso, you may have the best sneaker game on the entire squad.
Ooh.
Sneaker check right now. What are you rocking?
Oh, I don't have anything right now, but do you guys have a 30 seconds? I can grab one and show you guys.
Go for it.
Grab something real quick.
Yeah,
Logan,
go grab
every
something.
time I see Logan, he's crushing it. It's some ones. I know he's got some great 11s. His sneaker game is properly good. And he's always got something worth checking out on his feet when you see him. So, Dub Nation, if you're sneakerheads, Logan's your boy. Get at him because I know he's going to pull out some 10 out of 10s for us.
I'm excited about this. and again, this is a loaded show. So we would talk for 20 minutes with Logan because this has been awesome. But we'll catch up.
Watch him pull out the black on black Air Force Ones just to troll me.
Yeah, he's like, this is all I got. I don't know what you're talking about. He's looking for the best ones right now. Okay, here we go. In the box.
I got two. I don't know. These are the two that I want to wear in my first game back. I don't know yet.
He's going to make the decision between these. All right, let's see.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that with the purple and
color
gold.
Yeah.
Those are good. The lows, solid.
I'm a low guy. I only this one right here.
See, those off-whites, though, that's my speed right there, brother.
Should we go with this one?
Go with the off-whites, man. That's
clean.
classic.
Yeah, that's
Go
clean.
with the off-whites on your first game. That's
That's
an executive decision right now from the Brain Trust, cuz.
All right. Hey, my boy Tua, Tua Kilo?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said tell you what's up and everything. So
that's a Uso right there, bro.
Okay, well, Logan, we appreciate the time, man. Best of luck, and we'll be seeing you pretty soon as you guys get training here in the next little bit.
Yeah, see you guys.
Shout out to Spot.
Logan Tago on Dub Nation, showing off the sneaks. I love it.
Told you, man. Logan is a 10 out of 10 sneakerhead, and he and all of the other Warriors are back in action for MLR 2023. Y'all better be ready. All right. Season tickets, single game tickets, make your plans, get all your kit. There's a special coming up on kit. If you want to get your stuff ready, they're blowing it all out. All right. Everything you need to know is on the website. All right. Go to warriorsrugby.com and get it.
Okay. Crossroads games are coming up, by the way, which is exciting. We got our first game this week.
Crossroads Cup schedule is fantastic. I can't wait for all of this to come down and we can see exactly who we have here in this farm system. Week 1, McCarthy Field up at the University of Utah, 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. So this is going to travel around and we'll have a lot of games in a lot of different places so fans can get out and see guys that will probably be wearing a Warriors shirt one day in this Crossroads Cup.
And check out the jerseys for each team. We got them right here. The Gray Wolves, Salt Lake Wranglers, Provo Trappers, Salt Lake Bull Moose. Who you like the most?
I think that Trappers jersey is dope. I think that Bull Moose jersey is probably my favorite. I think, the kid Moresby in there modeling the Wranglers jersey is awesome. And you can't go wrong with those classic hoops for those Grey Wolves, though. There's just something timeless about those hoops, man. I love them all.
I'm going to go with the bull moose. I like that.
That bull moose is sharp,
the green,
for sure.
The Cottonwood Canyon's kind of green and white. Looks really nice. So, okay, we got 6 more pieces of news we got to fly through. Let's go. Zion Going is back. He signs with the Utah Warriors. Remember, he was a mid-season scrum half addition to this team. Played in 7 games, started 4 games, 88% passing accuracy. Good to have Zion back.
This is a guy that plays at pace. He fits right in with what Coach Coops wants to do. This makes a very deep quiver of players at that 9-10 position for the Utah Warriors to work on. Guys that play a similar style, that play at pace, that love to play attacking rugby. Great to have Zion back in the red and black.
And a new scrum half that is signed is Connor McLeod, a 25-year-old Kiwi, 5'8", 165. He's been in the provincial championship there in New Zealand with Hawke's Bay, Hurricanes development team, Otago and Otago U19. He is an up-and-coming Kiwi. What do you think of this signing?
At 25 years old, this is a guy that's played through the Hawke's Bay system that is an elite-level talent. This is a guy that's destined to play at a very high level of rugby, and it's because of his work rate and his work ethic. So to have a guy like this to combine with guys like Zion and guys like the other 9s that we have in the building is going to be a fantastic addition. Because, again, it doesn't matter who starts in this situation. You know you've got elite cover playing behind you, so you can go all out. And when they sub you out, next guy up has got your back.
Okay, 4 capable guys in the room. Let's talk about who the Warriors have at scrum half. Niall Saunders, of course, very experienced in the Premiership, back for a second season. Zion Going's back, as we mentioned, McLeod. And then the draft pick, Ty Coway. Of note, Danny Christensen is going to pursue either another team or hang it up. Not sure quite yet from Danny. He's been a tremendous Warrior. We've appreciated and enjoyed watching him play. So what do you think of these 4 guys as scrum halves this season?
Big love to DC for all the work that he put in. I'm really excited about Ty Coway and the physicality that he brings to this position. I think that's a level of a layer to his game that separates him from these other 3. Saunders, we know, plays quick. He's got great field vision. Going, we know, plays a little taller, a little more of that attacking style rugby. I imagine McLeod's going to have a very similar style to that. The great thing about having a guy like Ty in there is that he can cover 9, but he can also really cover the back 3 if he needs to. So a really great utility back. Think like Damian McKenzie for the All Blacks type of cover, where he can play the 15, 14, 11 spot, or he can play in the 9 where he spent a lot of time.
Remember, Niall Saunders has a 6-game suspension as well. That can occur in a different league. We'll see what happens if Niall plays elsewhere and chews into that, or if that's 6 games in MLR. So we'll see.
Still absolutely ridiculous that he got that, by the way. That's the league
silly.
making an example out of him. Every bit of that was deserved, in my opinion. I got your back, Niall. Don't worry, guys.
Yeah,
if you want to see these Warriors in action, some exciting new signings and more still to come, make sure you get your 2023 season tickets. They are available if you call now, 801-477-7652. Get your spot in Zions Bank Stadium. It is the best home field advantage in all of Major League Rugby, and we are not exaggerating that one bit. You are the difference maker for this Warriors team in a very exciting 2023 squad.
Okay, next up, Falcons in South Africa. Would be Eagles ride, but they're not test matches. So Friday the 14th, the Falcons took on the Toyota Cheetahs. Cheetahs won that handily. And then the next Friday, lost to Airlink Pumas, South African clubs there. Now, this isn't a full USA squad. The Europeans were playing with their clubs. These are tune-ups for the World Cup qualifiers coming up in November. So not the result they wanted per se, but Angus McClellan, Paul Asike, Paul Mullen involved there. Hopefully the USA is in tip-top shape to qualify for the World Cup.
I think going to South Africa is just a brilliant move to tune these guys up. It's great physical rugby, but it's also very expansive and open attacking rugby. You know, South Africa probably combines both of those styles better than any other team. So to get 2 hitouts like that with a young squad, well, a lot of new guys on that squad as they get ready for that Reap Change tournament, to have that kind of experience with this squad together is going to be invaluable in the long run.
And what's funny is Lance Williams was there separately, right? Playing in the 10s tournament. So they were just all hanging out, I guess. Okay, Robbie Abel retires from playing, still coaching with the Warriors, but he's done playing. He played in New Zealand and Australia, Brumbies Academy, went on a mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints to Western Australia, Maori All Black, Western Force, Brumbies, Melbourne Rebels, Auckland Rugby with the NPC. What a career he had. And now he can focus 100% on coaching.
Mean Maori, mean absolute legend with the mahi that he put in everywhere he went. He's an incredible asset, not just to the culture here in Utah, but with his knowledge that he brings to forward play. Good to see him finally hang it up. You want to talk? I mean, his career stacks up with some of the best ever in the game in that front row position. So absolutely earned all of the acknowledgments that he's got from so many greats across the world for his shift that he put in. So props to you, Robbie.
Okay, Emerson Prior suits up for Canada off the bench a couple of times. They played Chile in Sao Paulo on October 21st. He played 30 minutes in that game. They lost to Chile. And these are just friendlies, but part of the America's Rugby Trophy competition. And then they play Brazil today in Sao Paulo. Prior listed as the backup loose head prop. Again, Emerson Prior may have put in some of the best offseason work in his time going down to New Zealand, and now he's playing for Canada.
Yeah, you talk about the influence of Robbie Abel immediately. He was able to get Emerson down there, played some time with Waitemata Rugby Club, made a bunch of squads, got some good minutes in, and just gained all of that experience. Now the national team experience that he's getting playing internationally for Canada, all of this bodes really well for that loose head side of the Utah Warriors scrum.
Just loaded, like this show has been. Okay, last but not least, a World Cup date for the USA women's team. They lost to Canada 29-14 to end pool play. Advanced to the quarterfinals as one of the top two third-place finishers. They will play Canada again Sunday in New Zealand, Saturday here. Best of luck to the women's Eagles team against Canada in a rematch.
It's tough to beat any team in rugby 2 in a row. So expect this to be a very close, very competitive match. These USA women have a chip on their shoulder and they want to prove that they deserve to be there. So I'm backing these Eagles. Let's go, ladies. We're all behind you.
Get it done. Well, that was basically Fast and the Furious. What are we up to? 11? Is that the next movie?
I don't know. It's Fast and Furious 78.
I've lost track, but
They're racing wheelchairs at this point. Vin Diesel's retired. He's in a home. He's putting nitrous on the jazzy scooter.
And The Rock is saying, Daddy's got to go to work. And breaking a cast off. And yeah. So lots to talk about. We keep teasing it, but you mentioned kits, schedules, more signings, full roster release. We got a lot that's going to happen in the next
dispersion draft, expansion teams.
Right?
There's so much news coming down the pipe.
So we will give you all of that. Hang with us every other week on Dub Nation. Once we get to end season every week, you can always like and share this episode of Dub Nation. Follow the Utah Warriors on social media. Our thanks to Logan Tago for joining the program, showing off the sneaks. Producer Mason Benson, and of course Banksy. I am Jarom Jordan. We'll see you. Go Warriors.